qualifying after the late models do their qualifying. So 7 cars signed in here tonight at Mountain View Raceway with the open wheel modifieds. And leading them out, driver out of Dayton, Tennessee in that 102. That'll be Kyle Shadden. Kyle Shadden in the 102. Behind them, long-time East Tennessee racing veteran with close to 50 years of racing experience. He's out of Knoxville, Tennessee in that yellow number 36. That'll be Billy Palmer. Billy Palmer in the 36. Going into turn number 1, driver out of Powell, Tennessee. And the white number 2, that'll be Jimmy Dalton. Jimmy Dalton in the 2. And behind him, out of Rockwood, Tennessee, and the orange and black number 4D, that'll be David Lester. David Lester in the 4D. Looks like we're going to do 2 groups of open wheel modified hot laps. So again, Billy Palmer, been racing almost as long as I've been alive. And that yellow number 36, former late model competitor, now up on the Atomic Speedway. Always good to see Billy Palmer at any racetrack here in East Tennessee. Always does well, especially in these open wheel modifieds. Billy Palmer, race car. Line him up for Marvin Valentine body shop for that 36 of Billy Palmer. We see the white number 2 with Jimmy Dalton, Tennessee. Chassis to be the position. Will it cover the machine shop? Change on over. That Jimmy Dalton. Regulars here at Mountain View Raceway. You got the big engines, but they got the skinny tires, so always good to see these open wheel modifieds at any racetrack, as it really takes a driver to wheel one of these open wheel modifieds around the track, especially a high banked small track, 1/3 mile track like this one here at Mountain View Raceway. That'll do it for the first group of open wheel modified hot laps. Second group up.
Qualified 4th. That's really good.
Next on working man late models need to be lined up for your heats. Next on working man late models need to be
You think it's going to slick off some more?
coming up fast.
Ready?
Ready. So, we didn't do an intro. We didn't do anything for hot laps or nothing. I'm sorry, guys. We was kind of throwing the car together to get it ready to come up here. Hot lap first, qualified 4th. Made a couple of changes for the feature. We'll see how it goes. Got the wheelman on point tonight, so hopefully we're good to go. So here comes the feature. there. I know that Kyle and Jimmy got into it coming out of 2, and I just don't think Kyle knew he was there. So hopefully everything's good with Jimmy's car, and hopefully everything's good with ours. But y'all see it, so let's see what's going on here and check out what's going on.
So we're washing the car to get ready to see what's wrong with the engine, and I just have to give an awesome shout out to Ware's Machine. We bought this modular T-bar stuff just in case I ever got a little spicy and went to the wall. Well, I was pretty spicy and whacked the wall, and it really didn't destroy the decking. We're going to beat that back out, but right just inside of that crack is where that fitting, I guess you could say, is the end of it. So it broke this piece that's like $1.50. So we'll put this piece back in, straighten my old PPM spoiler and put a hinge on it, and I think I have another, what do you call them? Crush panels. They got, well, I stopped my video. Anyway, I have another one of these crush panels, and we'll hang the side back on it. So got a little bit of work to do over here. Just being optimistic on what the engine's going to be like. So I'll let you guys know here in a few days. Well, today's Sunday. We didn't get much video done, as you've seen, because it was on top of each other, on top of each other, on top of each other for the race, which was over at like 9:30 or something, 9 o'clock. But there was only like 8 of us and 26 late models, because I guess there was a big thing going on in Iowa or something.
Knoxville Speedway. That was a big one for supers, and then there was
I don't know.
something somewhere else, if I'm not mistaken.
Anyway, we don't follow that stuff, but I had food poisoning like super bad Thursday night. So Friday I didn't eat all day. Didn't really drink anything. Wasn't really feeling well. After the race, I tried to eat later in the evening. That was a bad idea. As soon as I got home, I was up till like 4 in the morning. Yesterday, I was in bed all day long. I think I'm okay now. I lost 12 pounds since Thursday evening, so I'm kind of tired and weak, but we're good. Hunter washed the car. We're gonna put it in here after it dries and pull the valve covers off of it. The last about 3 laps, it started getting flat and didn't have any power. And then the farther it went, the worse it got. So I think I floated a couple of valves because it still had good oil pressure. It wasn't knocking. It was just idling super high and didn't want to start. We took the valve covers off at the racetrack. There wasn't any water and oil. So hopefully, when we do a compression check, it'll only be 1 cylinder down. I had this problem before with a broke push rod. When I pulled the valve covers off, all the rockers were there, all the push rods were there, but I didn't bump it over and see how much they would travel because I didn't want all that dirt in my motor. So we're gonna let it dry, pull it in here, see what we got going on. If it's worse than a couple of valves, because I can probably have the valves here by Wednesday. I'm turning it a little harder than what I set the valve train up for, so I think the springs were my big issue. If the pistons are good, I'm going to order a better set of valve springs, take all my push rods, and then maybe be back together for the points race this weekend. If it's worse than that, unfortunately, we're probably done for the season because it took 6 weeks to get a set of pistons whenever I was building it. Probably going to take 6 weeks to get another set, and that's the end of the season because it's over the end of October. Yeah, that's the end of the season, so I hate to let you guys down like that, but if we went out this way, we went out with a 10th in the Cumberland Series, a 3rd, a 1st, a 3rd, and a 2nd. So we were headed in the right direction. Just, it's been a crazy season since the beginning. Some of it was our fault, some of it wasn't. When we were good, we were good. When things were bad, they were bad. I think we raced 13 races this year, or 10, and 2 were rainouts. I can't remember, but that is not how we wanted the season to go. But hopefully we'll be good. The race, we hot lapped fastest, misread completely the way the track was going. We knew it was going to slick off. We didn't know it was going to slick off that fast. Setup was wrong. It was loose as crap, but we still qualified 4th.
We were only 3/10 off the leader and only half a tenth off of 3rd, if that. So I mean, it wasn't by much.
No, and the car come on strong when the tires come in after that one caution. I pinched a guy off into the wall, but I thought at first it was my fault. And I mean, it's just a racing thing. He tried to get by me. I mean, I probably would have tried to push right through there too if I was in the other position. But I just was coming up the track to set up in the corner, and if he would have hit the gas or hooked up a little quicker, he probably would have cleared me. But hate to see it damaged his left front. I think it may have got my hub. That's something else we're going to have to check. It got my wheel. So, but we managed to hold on to 2nd, and about 3 laps to go, like I said, it started losing losing its power. And then on the last lap, you can see it in the video, I was just barely motoring around through there, and it was completely on the floor. But I worked so hard to get to second, it was gonna have to let a rod hit the ground before I was gonna let off the gas. So I'm happy with all that. It was cool. We rented the pay-per-view yesterday or day before, whatever, and watched it. That was cool to see, and I appreciate those guys shouting out our sponsors and that kind of stuff. And they didn't just video one particular pair or one particular person the whole race in the open wheel race. They literally put the camera on everybody multiple times, said drivers' names multiple times, even in hot laps and qualifying. Like, I mean, that was cool. That was worth the whole trip. So, I guess that's about it. Do you have anything to say on the race?
I in particular really liked the race. It was fast. Everybody was racing good and clean.
And there wasn't really nothing wreck-wise. It wasn't just a complete accident.
Yeah.
Like in
Nothing was
open wheel and
intentional.
super stuff.
Yeah. It was like all around a good night of racing. Like, and as bad as it is, it's hard to get that much anymore because guys get in their head and people get mad for no reason and everything else. But like, it went super good. The track was amazing. It's been great the last 2 weeks. Like, I don't know if it was the Hamptons or the XR series, but they redesigned the track just a hair, and it made all the difference. Like, you could run top and bottom, and you were just as fast no matter where you were at. Like,
3 and 4 was 10 times better. It was still a little slick, but you could get off in the corner so much harder and the car stay. And then there was a little bobble down in the very bottom of 1 and 2, but the groove wasn't there. The groove was a car off the bottom, not up against the rail. I tried up against the rail once or twice and it was horrible. So I moved up a couple, and some of the runs I got off the corners was ridiculous. And you couldn't really get those runs. You could in a light model, but you couldn't get that kind of run in an open wheel. It wouldn't stick. But every time I got a run on it, off in the corner, it was ridiculous. And yeah, great job to whoever. If it was an effort between the Hamptons and the XR guys, you know, we don't know how that worked, but I'm sure Mr. Hampton done all the work and killer job. Like, I have nothing bad to say. Last weekend was awesome too. Little rut come in, but no big deal. Like, people fuss about the track. It has been rough quite often. But it's not been from lack of effort.
No.
You know, like
because when we leave at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, Mr. Hampton's out there rolling it in,
Yep.
checking the track, trying to see where it's rutting at. And we've even seen him do stuff to try and fix it that night.
during intermission or
Yeah.
in between races. I mean, it is not from lack of effort.
No.
So
But hats off to them for a great racing surface. I hope when we get this thing back together, when we go back this weekend or next weekend, that it's the same. Because it's nice to go to that kind of track and it be that nice. Like, it's eases the mind. So.
and we've talked to old timers before that have raced there before the track was redone, and they had said there had always been places come up in 1 and 2, always, and it must be something underground, water running underground, or you know, a void under the track, something that keeps causing that, or a drain maybe they didn't find that was put in a long time ago, a spring. There's all kinds of stuff, but it's not from lack of effort of fixing it. So we are going to hop off here, go get something to drink, and then try to push this in the garage and figure out what we got going on. So may throw up a video in the next few days to let y'all know what happened and what's going on, and where we'll be or if we'll be. So thank y'all for hanging out this time.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to all of our great sponsors and supporters week in and week out. We could not do any of this without you. Like Kyle had mentioned before, it has been a weird and rough season, but I think at this point we have made the best of what we were given. Like he said, some of it's been our fault, some of it hasn't. Everything's been our fault. We've took accountability for, and everything that hasn't, we've rolled through it. So regardless of the outcome of what's fixing to happen, thank you all for sticking with us through this season. Next season, it's going to be killer. It's going to be to the wall, racing like.
And we'll have our backup motor together.
So this right here won't
Won't
necessarily be an issue
Yeah.
next year. So
We would be putting our backup motor in today, but
yeah,
I had to wait 8 weeks on pistons on it. The block is at Central Tennessee getting done. I still have a few things to buy for it. It's a financial deal on finishing that engine, but by next season, I'll have that engine sitting over here ready to go.
yep. So no matter what happens at the track, as long as nothing major happens, we will have a video for y'all. We will be racing. It will be full content. So nonetheless, guys, we're going to get this car together. Thank you all for watching. Again, thank you all for our great sponsors here. And as always, peace out, man.